Welcome to episode 2 of our special Honorary Graduate podcast for the Summer Series 2024. And rather than me introducing you to our guests, if I can pass over to you two to introduce yourselves just briefly as our Honorary Grad. Andy, shall I start with you?
I'm Andy Evis. I have led a life exploring. I'm an explorer. I'm a real explorer. I explore places where nobody else has ever been. And I'm delighted to say I've done an awful lot of it, but it's all underground. I'm a cave explorer, and I've probably explored more caves than anybody else.
Well, certainly more caves than I have, because they frighten me to death.
I've explored more caves than almost anybody else. I've got to be careful what I say, because I have people sticking pins in effigies of me all the time, but I've explored a lot of caves.
Gosh.
40 expeditions all over the world, and then about another 40 smaller ones doing not so much exploration, and 500 kilometres of caves. And caves you can put 3 Wembley stadiums in, and that's Wembley stadiums, not pitches. And caves you can fly jumbo jets through.
Oh my goodness.
And we've explored those. We've been the first human beings ever to go in there.
How amazing.
And they've been there for a few million years. But what I should, of course, point out when I'm bragging and bullshitting is that I am a member of a fantastic team, and I have a group around me who have assembled themselves rather than me sort of recruiting them, and they are why we have discovered so many caves and done such interesting science, and and that's how it continues. I've got this gang, and I push the button and off we go. And we're doing it again this November with world-class scientists doing all sorts of stuff and discovering and surveying and exploring lots and lots of new caves. Maybe we'll find a bigger one and a longer one and a one we can fly an even bigger aeroplane through.
Well, please make sure you tell us, because we'll need to know now. That'll be episode 3 of the podcast.
We don't brag all that much. We probably should brag a bit more. But
that's one thing that you've got in common with this university, actually, is that I think we do astonishing things here. We've got amazing people, amazing graduates, and we don't do enough to talk about just how wonderful we are.
Yeah, how many members of the general public know that this place found or invented liquid crystals and bone density meters and so on.
We've had some really, truly remarkable people walk across this campus, and that we're certainly very proud of. But we've got a little bit of work to do to continue to educate the rest of the country, the rest of the world on the true merits of the city and this university, which of course you two are both fully aware of.
Across the graduation stage. Wonderful people crossing the graduation stage, with the possible exception of tomorrow.
Well,
not Thursday, Chris, not Thursday.
That's going to be a bad day.
I have every faith that both of your speeches will be absolutely wonderful, and I'm certainly looking forward to it.
You can be certain it'll be short.
Wonderful. And Chris, how about you? How many caves have you been in?
Thank you. Well, I haven't found the one that's got the magic lamp that I can rub to get a genie, I'm afraid.
No, but I'm never hopeful. Some people say, "Why do you do it?" Well, there's your answer.
Well, in a nutshell. I was the chief executive of the Hull University Teaching Hospitals NHS Trust for 9 years until I retired last year. And I've worked in Hull as well for the previous 11 years. So I am really interested in the health and health services for local people and the outcomes that they've got. And one of the things that I was very, very keen to do during my tenure at the Hospital Trust was to really grow the relationship with the university, particularly looking at how we could build a real sort of integrated research portfolio, because that does so much for kind of reputation and recruitment. And that's I think been quite successful, actually, so I'm quite pleased with that. But I'm a great fan of Hull, and always will be, and so anything that we can do here for me is just well worth it.
It is lovely, thank you. And it does wonders for reputation and research, but also for the community as well, doesn't it? It's Now, neither of you two have received your award yet, have you? We're having dinner this evening, and it will be awarded tomorrow. So what I'm wondering is how you're feeling ahead of your ceremony tomorrow.
I'm feeling honoured, somewhat apprehensive, and I mean really looking forward to it. I've prepared a talk in interesting circumstances because my wife and I have just been abroad for a month, and the day before I left they said, can you let us have a speech by the end of July, the end of June, and I was going away the next day, so I had to put something together because they wanted it written up because it's going to be signed apparently.
It is, yeah.
And so I had a day to put something together, but so I'm going through that tomorrow, so I'll be glad when that's over.
Some nerves, some anxiety about the speaking.
Well, I mean, you're not taking it seriously if you don't get a little bit of nerves. And we've got all the family coming, and
lovely.
The 3 children are coming without the outlaws and the grandchildren. So it will be the first time that my wife, myself, and our 3 children have been together without any of the hangers-on for at least 20 years.
Gosh.
So I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow afternoon and evening. So that would be rather nice.
Lovely.
And then they're all off on Thursday back to where they came from all over the country. So,
spreading the good word of the University of Hull, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Good.
They're spreading the good word of Hull for sure.
Chris, how does it feel to be recognised in this way?
Well, it's clearly an honour, and it came completely out of the blue actually, and I just couldn't believe it when I got the letter. So I'm very grateful for it. I'm going to be graduating on Thursday, so I've got that to look forward to. And I'm apprehensive. I'm very conscious of the fact that we have been asked to say a few words, and I'm going to be standing in between several hundred hungry graduates and their families, in between them and lunch. So, I just need to make sure I keep it brief, really.
It is a 3,000 capacity stadium as well, just in case anyone hasn't mentioned that to you. Does that help?
As long as the microphone works, that's fine, because I too am as deaf as a snake. So it's, if I'm on transmit and not receive, then we'll see who notices.
So what I'm interested then, as somebody that's coming to the university to receive this accolade, you've got dinner tonight, you've got your ceremony on Thursday. How will you spend a day in this great city tomorrow?
Well, I'm going to be going home tonight. I live just outside Malton, so it's just over an hour away, really. So I will enjoy the dinner, and I've always enjoyed dinners here, and then head back and prepare myself for the following day.
With great anticipation.
Absolutely.
So both of you are fairly local then to the area. How does it feel to be honoured by the university in your city? Do you feel closer? Do you feel more connected to the city? How do you feel about the connection between the university and our local community?
I've lived in Hull for 45 years, and I've been connected to the university for about 25 years. So I was on the council of the university for 10 years, till I got unceremoniously dismissed.
I feel like there's a story in there. Is there a scandal?
Well,
no.
Not a very serious story. You time out. And because of changes of vice-chancellors, everybody had forgotten how long I'd been on the council. And I think it should be 9 years. And there was a change of vice-chancellor. And the new vice-chancellor, Sue Lee, came along and said, Andy, I'm so sorry, but I've got to dismiss you. And I said, well, what have I done? I've behaved myself. I was really getting to grips with being a council member of the university. I really rather quite enjoyed it, and I thought I was being quite useful. And she said, no, you've timed out, you have to go, and finished, gone. So,
Well,
that was now about 10 years ago. So,
but you're now an honorary, or you soon will be, as of tomorrow, an honorary graduate of the University of Hull. So we're bringing you back into the fold.
Well, and that's nice. And I'm the most non-academic person on earth, and yet I've got 2 degrees already from 2 different universities, and this will be the 3rd from another university. And being the most non-academic person on earth, it's rather silly, really. I know your story's a little bit the same.
Well, yeah, but, you know, as I said, you just got to be able to blag it.
Fake it till you make it. How was your thoughts on this university and the perception of the university and the city, and maybe how you'd sell this institution, or your feelings on this institution, to somebody that doesn't know the city, somebody who isn't familiar with what we stand for?
Okay. Well, I'm really proud of my connection to this city, actually. I mean, I've worked here for 20 years, and it has been terrific, because I think there is a special quality about the people which really does make it. I worked in the health service for all of that time, and certainly in the hospital. I always used to say that there was a well of care and compassion amongst the staff who worked there that ran deeper than I've seen anywhere else. And I think partly that's because it's local people serving a local community, and that really matters. But I think it's something about the Hull character as well. So enormous fondness, enormous regard for this place. I think Hull suffers from being talked down by people who don't know it, and anything that we can do to address that has to be good, and I certainly talk it up at every opportunity that I get. And I think the university as well, it is such an important part of the local infrastructure, and the work that it does, the outreach work that it's doing to reach out to people who might never consider a career in university, I think is absolutely outstanding. And I think that the city and the region would be a much lesser place without the university. So I'm really proud to have that connection to it now, because I just think it is such an important part of local life.
I couldn't agree more, and it's really nice actually to hear that being said, and it's really nice to hear that we have more advocates and ambassadors for this university that are prepared to champion what we do here. So we have got ceremonies tomorrow and then Thursday for yourself. And then what's the future? How can we work together? What does it look like going forward with the University of Hull? Because this isn't the end of our relationship, is it? This is just, well, not the beginning, because Andrew, you said you've been with us for 25 years, but where do we go now?
I was on a committee called the Ferrens Trust, and the Ferrens Trust was set up by the Ferrens family years ago, and it's got a reasonable amount of money in it to pay out every year to worthy causes which aren't going to get money from any other sources. And I was chairman for 10 years, I think, and during that time I swung it around to outreach, because we have got certain sectors of people in Hull who don't get a very good education, but they could do very well if they tried. So we've moved this Ferrens Trust, to Ferrens Educational Trust, towards outreaching. Anybody in the university who comes up with a scheme to go out to local schools and persuade them it's a really good idea to work harder at school and come to university, they support. And I think that's been very good, and we've had some pretty good successes. And we do have to try and lift the standard of primary, secondary, ordinary education in Hull. And it's not good enough, the results aren't good enough, but there's no reason why they shouldn't be. There are intelligent people here who, are just satisfied with not getting very well educated, and we have to try and get around that. And Hull University is certainly doing quite a lot in that direction, and they must and they will, and and it's good. There's money there for the students to do it, and to go out, and some of the schemes are great when they go around the schools saying you can come to university, you can have a really good time, and you can have lots of fun at university like we have, and if it helps a bit, that's worth doing.
Absolutely. The community is a really important part of the university, and why we exist, to serve and helping people realise their potential, raising aspirations and putting back into the community. It's a lot of what we stand for, so there's certainly a lot of synergies there, for sure.
Yeah, if people like me can get 3 degrees, anybody can. No doubt about that.
But of course, at the University of Hull, it's a very significant and of significant value to everybody. It's not easily come by. You must work hard. The currency is significant.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that was said earlier about the this is a much better place to live than it is to visit. I live in West Hull, just by the Humber Bridge, and that's a fantastic place to live. You know, I originate from down south, but you know, I absolutely love it up here, and I wouldn't go back down there. And you know, it's a shame all three of my children have emigrated away from Hull, which you know, one's London, one's Exeter, one's in Derbyshire, but they've all got their own.
Well,
reasons.
we shan't hold that against them, shall we?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, we should.
Maybe
hold it
slightly.
against them, yeah. I hold it against myself. I educated them too well, took them around and showed them everywhere else in the world too much. And, but they come back a lot. They're here tomorrow, so that's good.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really pleased that you are feeling so positive and excited about the opportunities, perhaps a little bit apprehensive about speaking, but we feel very encouraged and we're very grateful.
One of them warned me and said, you must, you know, be prepared, because it's not like graduations used to be. They said it's a much more light-hearted, informal, and people will be talking and they'll be jeering and they'll be cheering and da-da-da-da-da, so we will see.
Oh, I don't know. We've retained an awful lot of tradition at the University of Hull. I think they may be surprised.
Well, I've been to a lot of graduation ceremonies over the years here, but not recently, not since COVID. I haven't been to one since COVID. I get invited with, you know, the committees that I'm on, but I haven't been since COVID, and I think it's probably changed a bit since then. COVID seemed to change an awful lot of things, didn't it?
Yeah, it changed the world, but I think we've bounced back pretty well.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
Well, you'll see. You'll see tomorrow, and I hope that you both leave having had a wonderful experience. We're certainly very grateful that you've accepted these awards and that you've joined us today. So I won't take up any more of your time. I'll let you go and have some dinner and enjoy campus and all of the fineries here, and we'll see you again in the coming days. We'll also be sure to share some photos of your
with our
moment.
Chancellor, Alan.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So,
I shall look forward to that. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.